Okay, so you want to stay informed, get the key facts, but, without getting totally bogged down in every single detail,
Right,
right?
exactly. That's why we're here.
And today, we're looking at something pretty big heading our way.
Hmm.
Seattle, hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, it's massive. And we're using this document you shared, 2026 World Cup in Seattle, infrastructure, hotels, and attractions await, kind of as our guide.
Right.
So the mission today is really to pull out the most important bits, the interesting stuff, and figure out what this huge event actually means for Seattle and, well, beyond.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The economics. I mean, the numbers they're throwing around are, well, they're huge.
Oh, absolutely enormous. The headline figure is nearly $1 billion in economic impact for the whole region.
A billion. Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to even wrap your head around. Think of it like, I don't know, several huge tech conferences all happening at once, but for weeks. It's potentially transformative.
And that breaks down too, right? It's not just one big number.
Yeah, right, right. The document mentions over $100 million expected in just direct state and local tax revenue.
Okay, that's significant. That money can actually go towards, public services and things.
Exactly. And then there's the jobs aspect.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not just about the overall cash flow.
No, not at all. They're projecting support for over 20,000 jobs in King County. That's full-time and part-time.
20,000. That's a serious boost to employment.
Definitely. Across lots of different sectors, too.
There's a quote in here I thought was interesting from April Putney. She's the Chief Strategy Officer for Seattle FWC26.
Oh, yeah. What'd she say?
She said, we're committed to spreading the nearly billion-dollar economic boost to uplift local businesses and workers. It sounds like they really want this to benefit the community, not just, the big corporations.
And that's encouraging to hear, isn't it? That focus on local businesses, on the workers.
Yeah.
It suggests they're trying, at least, to make sure the benefits are felt widely, especially, you'd think, in hospitality, hotels, restaurants. They must be expecting a huge surge.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
High occupancy, more revenue.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a given with that many fans coming.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to the next point. Can Seattle actually cope with all these people? Infrastructure, hotels. What's the plan?
Yeah, that's critical. The document stresses that Seattle's existing infrastructure is being optimized, not built from scratch, but improved and managed for this influx.
Optimized.
Yeah.
So that means things like public transport schedules, maybe road management.
Exactly. Thinking about how to move huge crowds efficiently, managing bottlenecks, maybe temporary changes to services.
Makes sense. And what about places for all these visitors to sleep?
Well, it seems like there's a good range already,
Yeah.
from your high-end luxury places that international visitors might expect,
Right.
down to more budget-friendly options, probably spread out a bit more.
Okay, so options exist.
And hotels are apparently getting creative too,
Yeah.
developing special packages, amenities specifically for soccer fans.
That's smart. Lean into the event.
Yeah. And Visit Seattle is mentioned as well, coordinating with hotels, trying to keep pricing fair and make sure there's enough availability.
Which is crucial, right? You don't want visitors feeling ripped off the second they arrive.
Absolutely not. Managing that pricing and capacity is key to the whole experience feeling positive.
Okay, so they've got beds. They're working on transport. What about the fun part? The atmosphere. Where's the party going to be?
Seattle Center. That's pegged as the official fan celebration hub.
Okay, the area around the Space Needle.
Exactly. And get this, they're expecting maybe 500,000 fans there over the 3 weeks of matches?
500,000. Just at Seattle Center.
That's the projection, 500,000 people. It really gives you a sense of the scale we're talking about.
Wow. That's like building a temporary city. What are they planning to do there?
Oh, all sorts. Live broadcasts of the games on big screens, naturally.
Of course.
But also interactive fan zones, games, activities, and cultural events, too, showcasing Seattle, trying to create a real festival vibe.
So it's more than just watching football on a screen.
Definitely. And it's not just Seattle Center either. The plan is to have statewide fan zones and watch parties.
Oh, interesting. Spreading the excitement out.
Yeah, trying to involve more communities across Washington.
That's great. Thinking about the local community.
Yeah.
What else stands out in terms of real benefits beyond just the fan stuff?
Well, something mentioned that seems quite significant is this historic labor standards agreement.
Okay.
It's with the Martin Luther King Jr. County Labor Council. Basically, it ensures fair wages and conditions for the workers supporting the event.
That feels important. Setting a standard.
It really does. Could be a precedent for other big events, Plus, there's an emphasis on using local and small businesses for contracts and supplies. Again, trying to spread that economic benefit around.
That seems like a really positive focus, making sure it's not just a big show that rolls in and out, but leaves something good behind for locals.
Exactly, a legacy aspect.
Okay, let's shift slightly. Where will the teams actually stay and train? Team base camps.
Ah, yes, the base camps. Super important, not just for the teams to have top-notch facilities, get ready for matches,
Good performance matters.
but also for the local economies where those camps are located. They bring in money too.
And the document mentions a couple of potential spots.
It does. Gonzaga University up in Spokane gets a nod. They've got great athletic facilities already.
Okay, Spokane.
And then closer to Seattle, the Sounders FC headquarters in Renton. I mean, that's already a top-tier pro facility.
Makes sense. Already built for purpose.
Yeah. And there's a quote in the document from Renton's mayor, Armando Pavone. You can tell he's pretty keen on the idea.
I bet. What are the benefits for a place like Renton or Spokane if they host a team?
Well, think about it. Hotel bookings for the team, their staff, maybe media,
Right, entourages.
local spending in restaurants, shops, plus just the profile boost. International media attention focused on their town for a bit could help tourism down the line.
So it really does ripple outwards from Seattle itself.
That's the idea. And maybe, visitors who come for the games might think, hey, let's go explore Spokane or head somewhere else in Washington while they're here.
Spreading the tourism love.
Could be a real boost for smaller communities, too.
Okay, so for those visitors, when they're not watching soccer,
Mm-hmm.
what else is there to do in Seattle? What does the document highlight?
Oh, plenty. Seattle's a great destination on its own, right?
Definitely.
So you've got the absolute icons like the Space Needle. You have to go up for those amazing views.
A must-do, panoramic city and water views.
Absolutely. And then Pike Place Market.
Ah, the market. Fish throwing.
Exactly. But also just incredible local food, crafts. It's buzzing. The document even says pretty much, don't forget to head to Pike Place Market for lunch.
Noted. Always good for food. What about outdoor stuff? It's happening in summer, right?
Yeah, June and July. So despite their reputation, Seattle summers are usually really nice, pleasant weather, which opens up options like, exploring the coast nearby, maybe even a trip out to Mount Rainier National Park. Stunning scenery.
Okay, so nature lovers are covered. Culture vultures.
Yep. Seattle's got great museums. There's MoPOP, the Museum of Pop Culture, always cool exhibits there.
Love Mopia.
Chihuly Garden and Glass, which is just visually spectacular. The Seattle Art Museum, plenty to soak up.
And the food scene in general.
Oh yeah, vibrant.
Yeah.
Lots of focus on that Pacific Northwest cuisine, fresh seafood, obviously. It really paints a picture of Seattle as having a lot to offer beyond just the stadiums.
So wrapping this up.
Yeah.
It really feels like Seattle isn't just putting on a few games. This is a massive undertaking.
It really is. Major global event with essentially huge economic benefits, the near $1 billion impact we talked about.
Right.
Plus extensive preparations for visitors, infrastructure tweaks, fan zones, and real opportunities, it seems, for both the city and the wider state.
It's a lot to take in. This deep dive has been really illuminating looking at how Seattle's gearing up for 2026.
Absolutely. The scale is impressive.
So here's something to think about after we finish up. Considering just how big this event is and all the infrastructure work going into it, what other long-term benefits, maybe ones we haven't even touched on much, could this bring to the Seattle region beyond just the immediate World Cup money and buzz?
Yeah. Good question. What lingers after the fans go home?
Exactly. Something for you to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.